Hello guys, welcome to another video by myself. So today's video is about how I applied my workplace tips for social anxiety to a work period which I done. So I done a 2-week temp position as an accounts assistant in a warehouse setting, but I didn't do any warehouse work. So I was just pretty much there by myself, covering somebody's sick leave. Now the fact that I was isolated by myself did present a bit of an issue. Now, let's remind ourselves of the 3 tips. Number 1 is embrace your workplace, which is basically just always aim to be in the vicinity of other workmates. Number 2 was stimulate your social life outside of work. And number 3 was always accept gatherings and invitations. Now, the reason why this was such an issue in this case, well, it was one thing, it was 2 weeks. I was the only person there who pretty much knew how to do accounts at all. So everyone pretty much just said that just go in your office and just get on with it. So it was very busy. So this, and obviously my main concern is just doing the actual work at that point because it's such a short period of time. Having said that, I was almost going to think that it's 2 weeks. This is, I can be excused for not embracing like the social life of work at that point. But I thought, no, I'm going to try to make an effort for you guys watching. So yeah, this is what I done, right? And so let's start at number 1. Spend time, basically spend time with your work colleagues. Most of the time I was in my office and I had to do my bit. The director was in his place, and then all the warehouse workers were, doing their thing. So I had very little time, and it was always like half a day. So I worked from 9 till 2. So it was quite concentrated in terms of actually staying around or hanging around. Another thing is it was way up in the countryside, and the buses run every 2 hours. So as I was leaving, my bus came. So in terms of that, I'll go on for that tip number 3. Okay, but basically let's go back on to tip number 1. There was times when, I wasn't busy, I had nothing to do, and pretty much everyone said, look, if there's nothing to do, just hang around, because you do need to do your hours. So I could have just played about on the internet or played about on my phone, but what I decided to do instead was go down to the work floor and said, guys, there's nothing to do. Do you mind if I just sit here for a bit? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. So I just sat there within the vicinity of other workmates, even though I didn't have to. So that's something I would never have done before. Normally, I would have just gone on the internet, and played about and looked at YouTube or whatever if I had the opportunity. But this case, I actually decided not to do that. So I think that's a small victory on my part. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is doing outside work activities. To be honest, within 2 weeks is not really going to make that much of a big impact. I just can't think of really anything. I mean, I'm studying on the side anyway. I go gym on the side anyway. So I think number 2 will help you in the long term. And so it did give me some stuff to talk about, the things I've done before. So that was a plus. So I do actually think it actually achieved this point in that part. So, okay, so that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, accept gatherings and invites. Once again, because time was so constrained, I didn't have time to go around to after work events. Not that there was any anyway, but I didn't have time to actually organise anything or say anything like that. So all I did, basically, the only thing I've done is basically number 1 really, but I think I learned a lot about the opportunities for number 2 and 3, and in order to actually build rapport with them, what I did was, when the sick person did come back for my last day, in order for me to do the handover, I actually got her a card, just like a get well card, and and I got all the work colleagues like a box of chocolates. It's because I thought this is just my way of showing thanks to you guys for giving me this opportunity. And I think that's good. So that'll actually make me a bit more memorable. So it gives you a bit of a bigger impact than just somebody who's just come in and gone out. So yeah, even though I didn't really manage to apply the tips that well, I still think it was a good experience. It allowed me opportunities to see for the future when I get like a more long-term role. And also, yeah, it was just a very good time, and it was a great group of people as well. So I was probably lucky in that regard. But yeah, that's how it goes. Um, if I, as I do more work experiences, I've just did an interview on Wednesday, and I should be expecting the result tomorrow. That's of a full-time role, so we'll see how that goes. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.